What's going on, guys? So today on this Shoky third-party itty-bitty Transformer Committee video, we've got the new from NewAge. I'm gonna be honest, you can't read any of it. Nothing's in English. What the heck? But it's number 27, David. This is their NewAge's first attempt at an Optimus Prime, and as we'll get through it, it's fairly well based, at least in some ways, off of the MP44. Yeah, Masterpiece Prime. So, nice Diaclone looking box here. You got even mobile base going on there. Look, he comes with the Matrix. No shit. Got a trailer. It's got stuff and things. Nice drawn version of the thing there. Hold on. It says Battle David. Track changes into the robot trailer. Is secret base. I'm sure it's supposed to say tractor. It says track. Okay, so if you come to this side, you got him there pointing his finger going, hey, I see you there. Then you got, right there, in a nice trucky mode. Coming to the back, you got him there fighting against the new Megatron, which is fine and dandy. Looks fine. You got NewAge there, ages 15 plus. Hey, I'm right in the middle of that. And 2021, yep, that was the thing that happened. So around here, same images here. Come to the top, you've got robots. It's finish, change, start, although that's backwards. Truck, trailer, all that kind of stuff. Battle David. Come to the bottom, nice little data card there, which is kind of cool, actually. You got his height, his width, maximum speed, capacity, tonnage. That's actually pretty cool. I like this front-on shot here. That's pretty neat. And a nice little shot of him there. So, that's it for the box. Out of the box, you do get a little baggie of stuff, which we'll take a closer look at later. Wait, what? Did I put someone else's? I did, I think. So that's funny. Off to the side here. I'll show you. You do get a roller, which I realize I put the wrong gun in there. That's hilarious. That's not David's gun. That's actually someone else's. So we'll take a closer look at roller later on, but he does come with a roller. And we do get the instructions. Okay, good. I was making sure it was instructions. And yeah, this is a huge instruction sheet, considering that it's for an Optimus Prime. Now, mind you, it does give you the instructions on how to manipulate the trailer, turn it to base mode, play with roller, that kind of stuff. Oh, I completely forgot about that section. That's pretty cool, though. It does tell you how to get him attach the trailer or detach the trailer and all that kind of mess. So they're okay instructions. By the way, I did do an out-the-box video for this guy where I played with him for the first time. Ignore what you just heard. I played with him for the first time, tried to figure out transformation and all that kind of stuff, and that is available for the good old channel members. But for now, there is David in truck mode. Just look at him. Look at all the greatness. Yeah. Okay, so here he is in vehicle mode, and look pretty good, and he does roll pretty well. The hard part is, of course, he's on this glass. All of the wheels are pinned with metal pins, so that's actually pretty good in its own right. And then, unlike other versions of Prime that we've had before, his trailer actually does kind of hitch in pretty well. And you can see I have put some very basic universal repo labels on there just for the heck of it, even over here on his cab section there. Let's go ahead and get the comparison out of the way with the old school DX9 Dutch. Because here's the funny part. I actually really enjoy this trailer, which is also effectively 100% painted. This only seems to have paint here. This one also has the little detail work right here. This one just has a circle. It's really strange. But one thing that's interesting, is it might be hard to capture here. I'm going to crank up the camera. Trailers are almost identical in length. Like with the doors, they're identical in length, which is kind of funny. just to see that. But you can also see it has the line work on this one. This one's just blank with the exception of kind of the metallic thing. This one looks probably more like a real, bolted together thing. This is, slightly more stylized, but I still appreciate the paint. The wheels, these old plastic wheels that aren't even painted except for the silver, stuff like that. And also the fact this one pins in like this and then the thing rotates. Never really been a good way to do it. And let's just be honest here. Dutch's cab mode isn't great, even with the repro label deco. Whereas this version is totally painted. Nice translucent there. Silver paint there. Looks good. I mean, you can see here, even from a front perspective. Okay, so lining up the trailers, you can see the difference in the distance to the cab, but like this one is definitely a bit more screen accurate if we're going there as a measurement of success. And if they do eventually give us some repro labels for it, that would be pretty cool. And the plastics are just dinky over here. Here they look a lot better. The section here outside the trailer is black. Over here it's blue, which is a little bit more accurate, both to toy and other. But like I said, it's also the fact that this one's imitating MP44, which makes a difference. Now, the other thing I want to show off here is NewAge Flipper, which was their very first thing, and they wanted to make sure that you could use it with Dutch. That was even part of the original, advertising. So you could open this up, and he would fit all up inside there. Now, mind you, he's like huge in comparison. And then you come over here. One thing that's awesome, they gave you the ability to open the trailer. Just new-ish. Being able to open the trailer from the outside, what a novel idea. And then if you get the new NewAge Bumblebee, significantly smaller and closer in scale. He's also very much kind of like the 2.0 Bumblebee as it is. And then you can see here, size-wise, this Bumblebee makes a bit more sense to that Prime than that Bumblebee does to that one. So you can see where they've really started to alter their scale, especially since doing him. Things are a bit different. We'll do a little bit more comparison to just the trailers here in a minute, but I want to go ahead and bring out a few other vehicles while we're here for NewAge. So here is a Datsun Bro, who is clearly not to scale. The taxi cab Ratchet, also pretty big in comparison. Like, he should be, at least shorter. And I think that's it for vehicle sake. And then of course you do get Roller, who is there. So let's get all these guys out of the way for just a moment, and we'll look at the trailer separately from the truck. So what we want to do here is split the legs a little bit, and you can see here it's almost got like a fifth wheel kind of situation going on. I'll talk about the truck more when we get to actual there. So here's our Roller, which is the first time we've gotten one at this scale, at least from NewAge or DX9. Bare plastic for the most part, but he's got the 2 rows of seats. He's got the little red light there. Got little exhaust pipes, I guess. Halfway painted wheels that are all pinned. Looks good. But you can also flip him up and connect the trailer. And now Roller can roll away with the trailer, which is pretty cool. It's a heck of a dealie. It's a heck of a dealie to do. So that's pretty cool. And if you want to just set him off to the side here, you can. And then for propping up the trailer, you can reach up under here, pull that down, pull out the little stanchions, and it works fine. You can't see it because it's black on a black background. is what it is. I gotta... Oh, wow, I didn't realize how dark I had the thing. I was like, I thought it was my lighting. It was actually my settings. I was like, man, that is dark. All right, so an alternate version here, you can swing these guys out. Now, nobody in the Legends scale has seemingly determined the way to make these work the way the MP10 ones did. When you swing them out, they drop down. So in this case, you actually rotate what are clearly feet the wrong direction, just so they'll sit out like that. And then you can pop open the trailer. I guess you can open the doors, probably easier. Yep, the doors actually hold it together pretty well. And then you can set this guy down like this. Set the gates down. And we got the trailer. We got a whole lot of molded detail in here, including some extra spots there for, like, I guess, repair bays. Like, if you have one of the other cars. It almost fits the trucks. That does, at least. Sort of. By the way, he will not fit in the trailer. Though, apparently, Ratchet will. I did try it out. I forgot to show it. Sorry. It's pretty cool. But you also do get the built-in ramp, which is like that. Which is pretty cool. Except a little awkward once you get all the way up. You get wheelie. So, in storage mode, you can totally have wheelie up in here. And then have this kind of shut. And that'd be fine. There appears to be a hole right here in the middle, and I haven't been able to determine exactly what that's for just yet. Didn't see anything about it in the instructions. Alright, so we had the repair drone. It's back here. Or battle drone, however you want to say it. Little arm here that's on ball joint. Yeah, some kind of hair, free of cost there. You got a fake double joint, so it's only got a single joint here. Then you do get a real working claw over here. So that's cool. The little antenna dealy does go up. This is mounted on a big ball joint, and then the double joints like that. I don't know if the cockpit opens. I'm going to say no, because it does not appear to be a hinge there. Don't want to mess with it. The other thing is, apparently, this can come off. Oh, yeah, just clipped in there. Okay. So this is something I forgot about until I saw it in the instructions. And I suppose it rides around on rollers somehow. Not exactly sure. Because there's no post for it or anything else like that. So how does that work? Hold on. Let me look at this. Oh, I'm dumb. He doesn't roll around on a roller. You can pull the back wheels off. Hold on. I'll be damned. Huh. Look at that. So you can get a roving repair drone. Look at that. Totally missed that in the instructions initially. So that's cool, actually. Except your trailer becomes completely useless. So, it was like, well, now it's a battle station because you can't do anything else with it. It's just a ramp. Presumably, you could also do the stand-up thingy if you want to. You know, if you wanted to do the stand-up repair bay like they do. But having that there would help balance it out. But that's pretty neat. I like that. Didn't even realize it could do that until just now, because that just shows how little I've looked at the actual instructions. And I don't have a spudger on me. Come on. Get loose. Oh, there you go. Pull it by that. Alright, so that just plugs back in down here. That's cool. See, secrets of the trailer. Look at this, by the way. They actually put painted taillights. That's a good feature. I like that. Okay, so that explains the hole there. But still don't know what that hole is for. Presumably you can store something there. I just don't know what. I don't think his rifle can store there. No, definitely too big. And nothing else he has a post on it like that, so I don't actually know. They did actually put a painted fake tire under there, so that's always a good thing. Gotta love that. And let's go here. So this is one of those cases. I forgot to put the drone away. Where I might actually do a versus episode. Something I have not done before, but because I haven't had a good way to do this, it'd be cool. So I have, you know, the original DX9 that I can do all the direct comparison to and kind of rate it in a way. And that'd be fun. So it's a pretty good trailer. I actually like it. And having a roller accessory is actually a very good thing too. So the other thing I think that the trailer in particular might be lacking is storage for things. But I'll talk about that whenever we get to actual things to look at storing. So for the truck, like I said, pretty much... What's going on here? Spill something on that? What is that? Yeah, it looks like something got on there. My biggest complaint is this back end is horrendous. Like, this... That is an embarrassment. And I don't even think there's a good way to finagle it realistically. I don't think so. The other thing I have with a problem of mine is that this whole section here where the trailer connects is a bit floppy. It doesn't do its thing, and if you try to squeeze this together too hard, there's a couple tabs in the middle there. If you squeeze this too hard, you end up popping the fake gas tank there. So that's something you gotta, you know, really be careful about. He does have one neat feature that I don't think anybody was asking for, but it's pretty cool they did this. He does have opening doors. And if you're crazy enough, you could probably figure out maybe that the hand in there is a seat. Although if they wanted an accessory pack, they should have just given you swap out seats to replace the hands. Because it's starting to feel like they really want to introduce tiny little characters for these things. Because, I mean, this has, you know, Roller has perfect seats to match. So that's pretty crazy. I think one thing they should have done was paint the silver all the way around the edges there, because you can see a clean break in the grill, and I think that sucks. I think they also should have painted the headlights. I mean, they're okay, but... or a different color, I should say. They are painted. Even the license plate area is actually different. I like the yellow lower lights. They did not paint the top lights, and there's a reason for that, and it's because of how this guy transforms. One thing that's also awkward, none of this area right here is painted, but everything else around it is, and you can see the difference of the plastic and the paint. You can also see all the pins and everything, but it cleans up pretty nicely. And like I said, I'll do a proper, like, versus video, you know. So this one, you can see the very, very different versions of the truck. Significantly longer. Obviously, it mounts further back. This one went with more of a toy deco with the stickers and stuff like that. This is obviously all kind of crap. But, you know, one thing that he did have was the black vent up front. But what's funny is the cab size is very similar, but very different scales happening here. You know, much, much simpler transformation, by the way. Oh, I forgot. I need to pull over a whole bunch of robots for comparison. I'll do that here in a bit. I left everybody kind of over on the shelf. So, in this mode, you can't really utilize any of his stuff. So, I guess we just got to do the thing and transform him. Guys, having done this already a couple times just to go back and forth between bot mode he comes in and this this is not a good transformation. It's overly complex in all the wrong ways, and it bothers me. So I'm going to start out down here. I'm going to go ahead and pull this down and around. You don't have to do that first, but I'm doing it just because. Then you want to split the legs like so, untab the thingies, flip them down here, and then you're going to flip these down and off to the side. Now the legs are pretty complicated, but they're not the worst thing that happens here by any means. Let's see. Oh, okay, so the foot is tabbed in right back here, I believe. Yep, there it is. Okay, so super itty-bitty little tab there. You know, it plugs in right into there. And so you fold that up. You fold this straight, or at least as straight as you can get it. Now you need to flip out your heel, rotate your foot 180, and just kind of leave it. I'm going to grab the tank here, flip it up. Then we're going to rotate the entire leg. Oh, I say the entire leg. The entire leg below the knee, 180 degrees. And we're going to close this down. And there's a post there and a hole over there. And that's going to line up just like that. And then this part back here, we're going to flip down, rotate 180. We want to open this up, and then we want to flip the gooseneck thing, or the fifth wheel thing, in all the way. And then we're going to close this down. There's nothing that tabs in over here, because this is going to close and tab on right there. So that's one leg mostly done. And then last but not least, you rotate at the thigh to go that way. So that's a whole lot of rotatory stuff happening, if you catch my drift. Okay, now we got to do it all again over here. So we need to unpin the foot. Be careful with that. You don't want to snap that peg or else you'll be kind of screwed. Go ahead and rotate it 180. Flip out the heel. Drag this one down. And if you don't have the heel in the right spot, you're not going to be able to line this up properly, because you got to be able to clear that fake tank. And so we want to flip this up, because it's the only thing holding the rotating part in the way. Rotate that 180. Rotate the whole leg 180. Just do it while I'm here. Drop this down on the hinge. Flip it around. Open this up a bit. And roll this around and in, like so. Close that down and close it over the tab, like so. Makes a good snappy noise. And there's your legs. Come back up. This show has the trailer just sitting there. Not the old trailer. Okay, now comes the part I hate the most. Yeah, the legs are actually kind of fun and intuitive. I never know exactly what to do with the cab here. It is definitely complicated. Overly so, in my opinion. So we want to open the doors and kind of pop this open. You'll see a lot of stuff going on in here. I'm going to pull this forward for clearance sake. You've got a whole lot of moving pieces through here. You got a big double hinge system that's happening through the middle that is die cast. I'm going to be careful with that. And then you have this whole section back here. I'm going to go ahead and flip that up. You're basically going to explode him. Okay, so grab the arms. They tab in the middle. I'll show that off in a better way here. So these tabs right here plug into the forearm right there. Go ahead and close up that part. And we can rotate right above the elbow, like so. I think that's, nope, like that. There we go. Straighten that up, and then go ahead and roll the arm forward, at least for now. That's not its final position. That's just what we're doing. Okay, so fold the wheels down to get them out of the way. Arm untab, like so. Rotate, flip down, close up, and oh, there we go. So diamond part are facing forward. Fix the hands like that. Oh yeah, that hand's upside down. There we go. Now this isn't the permanent position. This is just where it's going to sit for right now. Okay, so what do we need to do next? Okay, so pull this back, swinging the head up, and then all the way up and out. And then we want to flip that back forward, like so. This, we want to straighten this guy out to the best of our abilities. That's going to be the backpack when we get there. And we can go ahead and flip these forward. Now, in theory, these aren't going to be in the way for right now. This should be okay. Okay, so this is where things get a little wild, in my opinion. So we need to rotate the shoulders backwards. I just want to flip them forward like this. And this is something I got to nearly completed transformation and realized the shoulders were weird. Okay, so then you can make your arms make anatomical sense, but keep them up and out of the way because you're going to need room. So like that. And then this whole, that's going to happen, by the way. That's just barely clipped on there. I want to, we rotate that later. Yeah. Okay, so these guys are going to go up and inside the torso here in a minute. Here's my joint here. And this is where we start getting tangled up. All right, so we need to close the door in on itself. So fold the mirror in and then rotate it inward. So it's, or either way, do it that way and then flip it closed. And then we're going to need to tap them back kind of like that. As weird as that sounds. How am I going to get it through there? Yeah, see, this is the part I hate. Like, just trying to finagle things around each other is the hard part. Actually, let's leave those out for clearance sake. There we go. So that needs to go around the center portion and fold inward like this. See, it drug on there pretty badly, but that's okay. At least for now, that's okay. And we want these to come back like so, and then swivel the doors to close out that torso. Now you can see we've revealed the robot chest. I'm going to bring the camera up a little bit here so I can do this a bit better. Okay. Damn it. I said a robot chest. That's the robot chest. That's the truck chest. Which isn't a chest at all. Okay, so I need to flip this backwards this way. And we're going to want to... You do that last. Yeah. Okay, that's last. All right, so we need clearance here to get this flipped around. So we can push all of this out of the way to the best of our ability. And rotate that on a very sketchy hinge. And then turn it 180 up here without scratching the fuck out of that bumper. Now, for the love of God, we get the last little section here, which is the torso fillers. And we want the wheels to go up inside. And then those sort of snug up in there. Collapse all those hinges. Rotate at the waist. Drop that down, drop that down. We come to the backpack, which is now snugging up. And then you've got this itty tab here that you want to just sort of push into there. Just to, it kind of helps it secure it, but not really. And I think we're done, for the love of God. Yeah, we're done. That's our good primer right there in his tiny little robot mode. Good God. Okay, so take a decent look here at our new Prime. I don't know why my camera's feeling wonky all of a sudden. Let's start with this new head sculpt. Hold on, let me zoom in, make my life easier. There we go. So new head sculpt. It's pretty good. You know, definitely Prime. Got his little ears. Got his little crest there, painted gray. Doesn't look great, but it's there. Face sculpt looks about right. Blue metallic eyes, which is pretty cool. I think that is pretty on point for the newer stuff. It's just on a ball joint with a little bit of extra hinge here due to everything else. So it's a ball joint with a little bit of a relief in the back, so he can look, well, to the sky for transformation. I guess if he wants to fly around. So that's okay. Let's talk about the chest, which is a little bit of controversy. So he's got some painted top signal lights there, and then second unpainted level of top lights. So a friend of mine highly criticized that right off the bat, and I think as long as you're kind of staring at it dead on, it's honestly not that noticeable. However, what is noticeable is this ridiculous nub right here. I'll trim that off in my own time. But it when you're really kind of doing stuff with it, you sort of don't notice it. But like the fact that they leave a noticeable gap, it's a little bit bad, if I'm honest. Now, once again, a lot of this stuff is painted, but you can tell very easily what's unpainted, and it does stand out like a sore thumb. Once again, kind of a universal of repro label stuck on the shoulder there. Shoulders can come up like so. They can rotate all the way around. However, there's no butterfly joint, and that really kind of sucks because it had one before for transformation. Almost every Prime has that built in because of transformation. But what's really strange, they add an extra joint here, which I can only guess is used for the Ultra Magnus mold, because it makes no sense. But he does get a nice little molded line in there in the bicep, which is fine. He's got his smokestack here. Kind of wish it could slide up. That might be interesting. Single jointed elbow. You can't really stretch it very far, about at 90 degrees. You got the rotation joint there, which is good. You get the forearm thingy that's not painted yellow. Also seems like short-sighted because they already had the yellow paint out for this, which once again seems super bright. Like I've already darkened this. Let's try that. Okay. Hands does have just plug-in hands like they've been doing for a while now, which is perfectly fine. He does also have different hands. He got some slightly posable open hands with a very loose and floppy wrist, so you can be like, what's the deal with this? You know, that kind of stuff. And he gets one, of course, for the other hand as well. But what's really interesting is these are bare plastic, which I find kind of strange. They look good. I mean, like, I guess these could be like the holding the chest open kind of hands. But then he also comes with painted pointer hands with a blue metallic paint that tends to match the legs and stuff. That's interesting because a lot of them have been coming with these blue hands with pointer fingers. So that's the thing. He does also come with his axe. I'm just kind of covering all the things that were plugged into his hands. One thing that's neat on that, you just plug it in like that. Doesn't have to cover the hand or anything. It actually replaces it. I actually dig that. Not a lot of Primes actually just plug in like that, so that's good. And we'll give him back his fist for the time being before we get to his final weapon. You do get the waist rotation that we saw before. You do get a ridiculous ab crunch. He can just completely break in half, which is terrible for the sculpt and really for your spine. Let's just be honest here. But it's good. That backpack, though, it cleans up okay, but it's not a super clean job at the end. They tried to kind of hide it with this little area. I mean, it's okay, but once again, if you squeeze something in the wrong position, everything just comes out of whack. You also get some harsh, like these tabs hanging out the side here. Like those are there for a reason, but they're kind of unsightly. All right, so down to the waist. Yellow painted things here, kind of an orangey yellow, which is okay, I guess. Kind of a camel yellow. Got hip skirts that fold up there, and fold back here. Then got a blue painted diaper back here. And what sucks is these tabs right here completely wasted in robot mode. It seems like something they could have done something with, you know. Okay, you also get a hip brake like that to go with your torso brake, and it's a little strange in my opinion. You can get a perfect Jean-Claude out to the sides there. You get universal hips, essentially. Can do a perfect chorus line. He can kick straight back as well. Not 100%, but if the hips rock back, then you can. Or rock forward, I should say. You do have a blue part there, and you do have a spot in there for a stand, I guess. Or in theory, that could be for the Ultra Magnus transformation. I don't have Magnus just yet. I will eventually. We got a little yellow paint here on the corner. Just now noticed that. Okay, thigh rotation. We already knew that from transformation. You get single jointed knee there, and then nice knee break there for a double jointed knee, which is pretty good, though it's pretty unsightly if you leave it there. But if you bend it at that knee, it's actually pretty good. I like that. That's one of the first times I've ever seen this little alcove of the knee used for for articulation, which is interesting. I'm not a fan of what they did with the calves here. Honestly, not a fan of the entire lower leg transformation and everything there. So they're trying to capture the vents, but they don't. Because there's so many different pieces and it ends up being rotating parts, that just doesn't look good. I'm just not even going to lie about it. It just doesn't look good. The toes are okay. They had the gray paint there. And you do get heck of a rocker down to there. Can turn it ever so slightly. And you get toe point up, no toe point down. And then the heel spur can move as well. That's all part of transformation. Just be careful that you don't knock anything out of alignment while you're doing it. And let's go ahead and do some comparisons real quick. So the immediate one, I know, I gotta zoom out, give me a second. The immediate comparison is with DX9 Dutch, which is pretty absurd, I'm gonna say it. That is a hell of a change. Even if I put the arms straight down, hold on. I transformed him very quickly, I didn't bother with any posing. And one thing about this new Prime, it really shows me how clunky the DX9 was. I mean, that is a significant difference. I mean, he's taller by a hair, but like so much of the proportions, like the ridiculous shoulders and everything like that, become very much apparent in this in this new version. I swear to God, it's almost like there's not enough lights in here, even though they are on. Alright, so get him out of here, and we'll bring in the tiny boy, since Bumblebee is already transformed, so we need somebody who's just a hair taller than Bumblebee. So there's Brawn. Comes up to roughly around his waist, which I think is about fair. Here is Megatron, which I still need to get the new legs for him. The funny thing is, like, this makes Megatron look kind of skinny and weird, you know, but Megatron's actually got a little height on him, which is accurate. Megatron is supposed to be taller, though I feel like they're going to have to do a Megatron 2.0 now. Not that this one's terrible, other than the transformation, but like almost like they need one to fit the aesthetic. Like, they just released a Starscream 1.5, which changes a few things and gives them more of an MP aesthetic. So it's like they're copying the new MP Starscream. But that's him next to Megs. And here he is next to Ironhide, which I think is actually pretty accurate. And Jazz, all from NewAge. And a fairly recent release with a Constructicon, which I guess is pretty accurate. You know, we'll never see him directly fighting the Constructicons, but yeah, works out pretty good. So, of course, we didn't get to his final accessory here, which is his rifle, which is fine. Nothing really to write home about. Actually, doesn't look bulky enough to me. It looks pretty emaciated, if I'm honest. I mean, yeah. I mean, look at this. Like, this is the DX9 version. This is a hefty gun, and I feel like it's closer to the mold. Like, I might actually give this Prime this gun because I think it looks better. But yeah, I mean, so he's got his gun, so that's good. I do wish he had a double jointed elbow though. I'd give him a little bit more articulation. Like, while his articulation is good, it's just like, come on. Like, some things you sacrifice for design really should come back. I also feel like you should have a little bit more of a neck to do the thing. Speaking of the thing, because this is a modern version of Prime, you can, of course, see the matrix of leadership all up inside there. And now I'm seeing why that particular thing is a problem, because it keeps this from opening all the way. So that's an issue. Also, you can totally see the rotation joint there. And you can remove that matrix if you want to. I do think, though, that is a different version of the matrix than you get even with Galvatron, who was, not that old. So that's interesting. I did get a complaint somewhere. I think it might have been on Facebook. Somebody said they got a version of David and one of the ears fell off for some reason. I'm not entirely certain how that could happen, but I guess it could. I mean, it is what it is. Now, what's interesting is I think this is going for a little bit of the movie look. I could be wrong. Often I am, but it is what it is. But the thing is about it, they have an EX version. All of the EX versions they release of their things tend to lean more towards the toys. Like, they're given a toy deco, but they'll also add extra heads. Like, it actually comes with a toy deco head that looks really cool and has some extra vents and a sharper face sculpt and stuff like that. Like, by the way, there is a light over here, but I swear to God, it's not doing anything. Like, I don't know what's going on here. It's my thing is either too bright or too dark, and I can't seem to figure out a good balance here with this guy. Something about the reds and the blues is not really, vibing. Okay, so let's talk about some of the negatives from here on out. Because so far, I really like the paint. I really like the articulation, but I don't like the way they did here. The transformation is abysmal. It's like way too many moving parts. It's like they really, really wanted to get a skinnier Prime, essentially. And in the meantime, they just made as many moving panels. Like, I think he has got to be as complex as Galvatron, and with just a little bit less of parts moving around each other. But, like, the way the chest works, I feel, is really dumb. I feel like they could have come up with a better way to do that. In fact, they did. In my opinion, this one, chest-wise, transforms in a superior manner. Where, I mean, while it's still kind of, unsightly from on top, this functions better. Like, the way that, the same truck front is on both sides, and you just flip it around. Since this is already flipping around, why did you make it the bumper, It's like, or realistically, they could have borrowed some engineering from, I don't know, MP10, which, as old as it is, it's still got some really good engineering. It may not look the best at this point in time, but it's got some still very, very good engineering for how to move stuff around. This backpack area, everything back here, there's just super chunky. Look at that. It's like they could have slimmed it up. I think some of their figures have fantastic backpacks where things can really slim up nicely. Other ones are just begging for another try. And yeah, they've already done 1.5 million recolors of him. I'm not going to get any of them. The only thing I'm going to get is the Ultra Magnus. I might get the Shattered Glass Ultra Magnus, which is also, what is it? Is it Delta? Something Delta or something. Magnus Delta. I forgot exactly what it is, but it's supposedly a Shattered Glass Ultra Magnus / Diaclone Ultra Magnus. It's pretty neat looking, if I'm honest, but having to deal with another version of Prime, kind of annoying. I think the trailer, like a lot of the things with the trailer, actually are improvements. I think the mold is not. Part of me wishes they had just added the extra details there. I mean, even adding the detail to the top, just something. And once again, they're going for a different look. So this is some look of G1, and definitely G1 toy with the stripes. That one is a much smoother animation look that they did at another point in time. So it's like, what do you really want out of it, you know? But all the added abilities with the drone being able to detach and detach the thing down there to actually utilize it differently, it's all actually a good improvement. The ramp is good. Sorry, I mentioned it, but I want to show it here where you can actually, unfortunately, you can't get a car bot in there. It's too big. I mean, like if you turn it sideways, almost. But you can, surprisingly, fit Ratchet in there, which I think that's actually pretty impressive considering the size of the vehicle. Also, it makes me think about the idea that we haven't gotten any Lamborghinis yet. We have not gotten the Lamborghini brothers at all. At least not from these guys. I do have a Magic Square version, which doesn't fit to anything, but, you know, it is what it is. And I'm definitely not keeping that one. Definitely going to be getting rid of him eventually. But, also, seems like Huffer seems to be a big thing. So I assume we'll get a Huffer eventually that will also be able to hold that trailer up. But ultimately, is it worth like the $100 to $115? No, not really. Not the cost anyways. It would probably be better in the $85 range, like not $15 off. The engineering is crazy. The added die cast for the support parts in the middle, which is something they had to tout because I have a feeling they were breaking prototypes right and left. I mean, it does come with accessories that do matter, and I appreciate that. And it doesn't come with too much that you're not going to use. But what's interesting, I think some of the newer versions, like Shattered Glass, Nemesis, and stuff like that, don't even come with trailers, but they still cost a lot. So I'm confused about that. Unless they do come with trailers, and I'm unaware. Oh, they also have the sleep mode Prime. I'm not gonna get that either. It's like none of that matters to me. Though now I have an interesting problem because I have room to put a Prime in one display, and I already can do another one. Though it leads me to the idea that maybe I want to do an Autobot in car mode display. You know, have them all rolling out, as it were. Just an idea. But this review's gone on long enough, guys. Sorry about that. I will do a Taro video. Just not literally within the time I'm doing this. I don't have time to do it tonight as I'm filming, where I'll show you how to get this guy back to truck mode, which, oh, good God. It's going to be a thing. It will be a thing. I promise. So, yeah. Let me know what you think down below. Was this one worth it? Yes, I do know about the new Magic Square 2.0 Light of Freedom, or whatever the hell it's called. It does look really good, but I'm not a Magic Square guy at this point. I'm all in on NewAge, and it's not something you can mix and match, because at this point they have a divergent scale system, and things just won't work. Now, that one does look really good. It does look very movie accurate. The bot mode is pretty clean, and the truck mode is pretty clean. So I'll give it to that in a lot of those aspects. That particular one is probably going to beat out this one. However, I can't say anything towards the paint. I can't say anything towards transformation, anything like that. Just based off of looks alone, that one would be a good one to probably have. But in this case, I've got several old versions of Prime and now a new one to work with. And I will do a versus talking about the pros and cons of both side by side and that kind of stuff like that, and work that out. I'll try to get that out probably by Saturday if I can. In the meantime, there's plenty of 52 toy stuff for you guys to look at, and statues over on the secondary channel as well. I'll catch you later, guys. Remember, as always, keep on nerding.